Very cool. Okay. HDQ is the guy who guessed the magic number 62. Number range was 55 through 77. 5-minute English opening, but it's still to be determined. What will black throw my way? Okay, staying quite flexible on move 1. And let's go with this. ECO code A22, English Carl's Bremen system. Alright, let's take here. Get my bishop developed. I've had trouble with this opening on the white end in the past. When I see this move, I think, is there a way to exploit b7? I wonder about that. I don't think that there is. If knight takes, pawn takes, I build my center, I open up the b5. I'd love to see knight takes knight, because then the pressure against b7 is that much more powerful, because my rook can converge on that square as well. This seems awkward because the queen isn't defending d5. So it's attacked once, defended once. I'm considering this, in my eyes right now, as unprotected. Can I take advantage of this fact? You know, what's typical is to, I think, bring the knight out to c6. So right now what I'm thinking of are, what are the differences between knight c6 and bishop d6? What does this move not do that knight c6 would do? That's the big question I'm asking, and I think it's has to do with this d4 square. I think I should play this right now. So let's get this break in. I do have a 2-to-1 majority in the center. After I did captured like this, this is just dropping the pawn, and I don't think that there's any tricks associated with it. No, I don't believe so. There could be a bishop check, and, well, I could block with the bishop. I wouldn't be able to come back to c3. That's hit twice. So I'm up a pawn from this position, and I'm just going to continue with development. Castling is one of them, and I think the other thing is to get this knight back to c3 to challenge the furthest advanced knight, this guy on d5. And I'm looking to push forward in the center. It's now a 2-to-0 majority. Time is not that big of an issue, and I'm just going to advance. Put this in pre-move. And from here, I guess c5 is something I would be anticipating after a capture if we do see that. And if I really want to, I think I could go ahead and win this bishop. After d5, grab some space. Bishop here is forced. h3, bishop back. g4, bishop here. Let me just do this. I'm threatening to win the bishop with d5. That's the big bad threat. d5. d5. Maybe c6 is needed. Bishop here maybe could be played, and now he's dead. He's a cooked bishop. Right? Time is level. d5 is going to be winning the bishop. So I think the earlier portion with bishop d6 was already the start of something that's a little bit off. So there'll be something to take away, I believe, from the earlier deployment of the black pieces. Less than 3. Now from here, I'm just focused on trades, being up material now. I don't want any complications whatsoever. I don't want to weaken my king side. There's no need to make any more pawn moves. These guys are going to stay as is. Bishop here to f4. Rook on my rooks ideally on the c file and d file, since they're the ones that are most likely going to be opened up. Okay. Take with the pawn or the knight. I'm going to take with the pawn, gain some space, and do so with tempo on the bishop. Now the e file is completely open, so this is purposeful. I'm not sure what I want to do with my dark square bishop just yet. Let me see if I could induce some weaknesses. With this push, this becomes a hole. Okay, so I'm fine with that. I was provoking that type of move. I'm okay to come back. I'm now keying in on e6. I could come there with tempo. Knight d4 hits the bishop, and if it drops back, knight to e6 is going to land a fork. If knight e5, I guess I could consider trading. This right here is maybe going to be a little bit annoying, and I just want to avoid any complications. So I'm perfectly okay with giving up the bishop pair. It's a significant advantage being up this material. So I'm hitting the bishop, and now more than welcome to more exchanges, and that's what we're now going to have. I will take with my pawn because he becomes passed, and my bishop is opened up. So I'll be looking for more than one reason behind each of my moves if possible. So those are two reasons to go with that particular capture. And I don't know that I guess the queen exchange could be avoided, but not now. Trade, trade, trade from here. And there's not much else to do. There's only one piece of mine that isn't playing. Rook a to d1. This diagonal is opened up. Okay, we have resignation. Alright, good game, HDQ. Let's back up. Now, I am definitely not the opening expert, for sure. I believe that this is fine. And this is where I start to worry a little bit. Just in general, being familiar with this being in the half-open file, keep your minor pieces off of it. I think it's important to maybe have a more direct view of this particular advance. And you know what? Even backing up at this moment here, I think what's also a move after bishop g2 is to not defend the knight with bishop to e6, but rather play knight to b6. And the main idea behind this is going to be important detail, because it'll let you know that a move such as bishop d6 is not the way to go. The idea behind this particular move after bishop g2, knight b6, the idea behind it is to have your queen there to watch over d4, so that I don't have this freeing advance in d4. If I could get this particular break in, I'm doing pretty well. So this move is aimed at preventing this advance, and after a move like knight f3, which is supporting it enough, then you play knight to c6 and you're defending it enough. And finishing up development wise, I think you could then be running with bishop e7, bishop e6, castle, and well, we'll be going from there. But I think at least the placement of the minor pieces, consider knight b6 at this very moment, knight c6, bishop e7, bishop e6, castle, we go from there. Follow-up moves might include queen to d7 and then placing a rook on the d8 square, maybe the king rook. And I guess one last point is that in those types of positions, it's important to recognize that this c5 square is a soft point. Ideas of like knight e4 to c5 are available. This rook will most likely be placed on c1 and supporting that knight movement. So I'm just giving you some quick insight as to maybe a setup you can be running forward with on the black end in this particular opening. One that, again, I've struggled with on the white end. Okay, let me close out of this.